All right, what's going on, guys? Today is May 21st. I'm going to be going over today's price action and the one trade that I took today. As you can see by the title, I got manipulated by one tick on this news candle to end up stopping me out before running the full TP. So just a very unfortunate day, very brutal. So yeah, I'm going to go over what I saw today, go over my higher time frame bias, why this was a A+ setup, and um, you know, just how I ended up getting stopped out. So let's start on the higher time frame. So coming into the day, I had all these key levels marked out. I was more so looking for shorts today. We were inside of this 4-hour fair value gap, so I wanted to see how we played inside of this 4-hour fair value gap. But we had these obvious swing lows, right? This low inside this 4-hour and this low inside this 4-hour. We also had Asia low, which is going to be this low right here, right? Scaling down, we had inverse this hourly fair value gap coming into the day. Asian low below us, Asia low below us, and then these key levels as well, right? So this 1 hour fair value gap was also unmitigated, so I was looking for a tap up into this 1 hour to deliver us lower. On the 15-minute time frame, we had these clear relative equal highs. So my two conditions coming into the day were either that we were going to sweep Asia low before delivering up into this unmitigated hourly, sweeping out these relative equal highs, and giving that being our sponsor to manipulate to the downside even more, take out these key levels. Or we were going to immediately manipulate to the upside off open, take out these relative equal highs, deliver into this hourly unmitigated, and then use that to sponsor our move to the downside. So those were the two things that I was looking for today off open. But as you can see, open just barcoded, right? We were SMT'd at this low. Off open, ES came and took out Asia low. So we were SMT'd at this low. And then we just barcoded from there, right? There was really nothing off open. It looked like it was going to be pretty bad price action today. The first trade setup that we got today that I ended up tape reading was this 2-minute IFVG, right? We tested this level, multiple times before we finally get the breakthrough. And the relative equal highs were just such a strong draw on liquidity that I assumed that this would end up playing out to our relative equal highs for about a 1-to-1, right? So that was the first trade I tape readed, and that would have played out pretty instantly. But after that, I like the SMT at the low. I like that we left Asia intact. And then obviously I expected us to deliver into this hourly unmitigated fair value gap, right? And immediately we do. We get a slight retrace down into a 3-minute. This is going to be a 3-minute fair value gap right here. And then we end up coming back up for a resweep, right? So we respect this 3-minute bullish fair value gap. We end up coming back up, resweeping this high. So I can go ahead and just mark this out right here. Yeah, so we end up resweeping this high and opening up multiple higher time frame fair value gaps. We're still lower time frame, but So we open up a 2-minute right here, right? And then we open up a 3-minute as well. It's a very small 3-minute, less than 2 points, but nevertheless we do open it up. So originally I was looking for this 2-minute gap to get inverse. Once we ended up opening up the 3-minute, it was very, very small, and I just didn't really feel confident in taking the 3-minute inversion. Especially with the wick here, right? We left all of this giant wick after we inversed the 3-minute, and the body ended up coming up, just barely inversing. So I just was not confident in that setup right there. So I ended up fading it. And what looked more high probability to me was taking this change in state of delivery setup, right? So originally, once we came back up, tapped into this, I think it was a 5-minute rejection block. Yeah, so tapped into this 5-minute rejection block. We just barely missed CE of it. We get this 1-minute inversion. Again, didn't really like it. Wanted to wait on the CISD for more confirmation. So we move lower. We create our change in state of delivery. We run past this first change in state of delivery right here, and we end up closing below this candle body over here, creating this second CISD, which I actually ended up liking more. The fact that we got a change in state of delivery on both of these legs, right? So I waited for a slight retrace back up. Waited for this candle to flip bullish, right? Right, the second it flipped bullish, I ended up getting in, and then I had my stop above this inversion fair value gap right here, right? So inversion fair value gap, I had my stop just above it, right at 43 points is what I think it was. Yeah, right at 43 points, and I was targeting Asia low, and actually I would have been out right about here, to be honest, because that would have been a $1,500 day for me. Which is just what I'm going for right now, trying to halfway pass these accounts and stick to my consistency rule. So I would have been out right here, but full TP was going to be Asia lows, with my break-even point being this internal low inside of this 3-minute fair value gap, right? So that is the trade setup, and that is the trade idea. Just delivering out of this higher time frame PD array, sweeping out these relative equal highs. We get a resweep on this high. Still targets lower. So definitely was convicted in us going lower, which is exactly what we did, right? So entered in off this change in state of delivery, waited for this candle to flip bullish, got in right here, stops above the inversion, and we get a news candle. And it immediately pumps up about 43 points, exactly to my stop loss, right? And I end up getting stopped out by a singular tick, as you can see. A singular tick, end up getting stopped out. Price immediately rejects off of that level and flips bearish with barely any drawdown whatsoever. Takes out my break-even point, edges break-even, so I would have still been in this trade, and full TP would have been taken right after that on this candle right here. So just very unfortunate, and we ended up running to full TP afterwards, taking out Asia low, right? So just in a very, very unfortunate trading day, excuse me. Not much you can do, right? We just got a news candle at the worst time possible, and I feel like my stop loss was in a great spot. It was 43 points above the change in state of delivery. I think my stop loss was in a great spot. The trade idea was correct, obviously. Ended up playing out fully. I like the CISD entry. I feel like any other entry would have been a little bit rushed. I feel like I could have taken this 1 minute for sure. I like the 1 minute inversion, but for me, the change state of delivery was just extra confirmation without sacrificing too much RR, right? So, I like the trade idea. It ended up playing out. My draw on liquidity was correct, followed my rules, executed my system, and we just got an unfortunate news candle, right? So there's not much you can do about it. Just very unfortunate. Definitely one of the more brutal losses I've taken in trading so far. But I can't be too upset, right? I followed my plan. And the trade idea was correct, right? The draw on liquidity was correct. Trade idea was correct. So I really can't be too upset. But yeah, that's basically going to be it for me. Just got stopped out by a singular tick on a news candle before price ran to full TP. So just pretty brutal. Would have been halfway past on these new accounts. And, it's just unfortunate. Just what happens. So we're going to continue to move forward. Tomorrow's Friday. We'll see what tomorrow brings us. But yeah, that's going to be it for me today. Hopefully you guys ended up green. I think that this move to the downside was incredibly obvious. So hopefully you took something in this leg. And if not, hopefully you just protected your capital and or stayed out of the markets today. So yeah, that's going to be it for me today. I will see you guys tomorrow if I take any trades. And yeah, that's it. I'll see you guys later. Peace.